So we are the last day and the last ride of this year's ABR Festival here at Ragley Hall, and for my last ride I'm going to take a Himalayan out for a test ride from Royal Enfield. So you can see the Royal Enfield stand behind me. They've got Interceptors here as well as the Meteor 350s. But yeah, this should be a fun test ride, I think, on the road on the Royal Enfield Himalayan. I haven't actually ridden one before. I've always been slightly curious. They're a bit similar to my Rally, I suppose, same sort of market, similar sort of price. I think they're quite a lot heavier, a bit more road orientated, bigger engine of course, maybe there's a bit of that thumping torque underneath. But yeah, let's see, should be a fun ride. So this is the Royal Enfield Himalayan that I'll be riding for my last ride of the ABR Festival. Quite excited. I'm just going to go out and do a road ride on it. I'm not going to do the adventure trail again, but nevertheless it will give me a good chance to see how it compares. I'm not expecting it's going to be like the 300 Rally, but I know that people have ridden these long distances. If anything, it's more of a just sort of steady, low capacity, relatively lightweight adventure bike. So yeah, I'm quite excited. I have ridden the Royal Enfield 500 before, the Bullet, which I rode in India, and also the Interceptor 650, which was just a brilliant bike. So I have high expectations. Let's see if they are met. So this is the cockpit of it. It actually looks quite high quality. I'd heard some rumours about maybe it was the earlier bikes, but this actually looks pretty good. If I turn on the ignition, there's lots of easy to read instruments, very clear. It's even got this little Google Nav thing in the corner, a little compass, fuel gauge, yeah, rev counter, and here we go. See the bikes going out ahead of me. They've got this sort of camouflage green, which is like the bike that I'm on. They also do it in like a white and a black. Personally, I think I prefer the black, but each to their own. My very first thoughts are, it does feel very light. I mean, I know it isn't. I know it's there's lots of steel in this bike, but it's all low down. It feels quite compact, but not uncomfortable. And yeah, the clutch is light. The engine's not too revvy. I think I'm going to enjoy this. Now that doesn't sound like it's revving too much. That was about 5,000, but I see that the red line's at 6.5. There is a fair bit of torque there though, so I think it's all very usable. I mean, I don't think you're going to be particularly racing in this, but I guess the bike isn't for that. But actually, it's a place to be. It is rather comfortable. Doing about 4,000 RPM, which is about 2/3 of the way up the rev range, and I am seeing some vibrations in the mirrors, which I guess would be a bit annoying. But I'm sure it's something that's something that can be overcome. Well, the gearbox is a little bit agricultural, but it's certainly got enough zip about it. Oh yeah, that's up to the 6,000, that's up to third. Yeah, the gear shift is nice and light. It doesn't seem like the most refined gearbox, but I don't suppose that matters. I'm doing now 50 miles an hour. It does have that torque that you get from a single. It's not quite as pronounced as it was on the 500 Enfield, but it also does feel more refined than the old engine that was on there. That's the roll in third up to 6th gear. I can feel it starting to run out as it gets to the top. The wind protection actually seems to be quite good. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of buffeting on my shoulders, but it's enough to keep me cool rather than something that's unpleasant. The screen, I'm sure you could get higher screens or even have a deflector on the top, but I think it does come up slightly higher than the screen does on my 300 Rally. So I really am quite impressed by this Royal Enfield Himalayan 400. It's just a really nice little bike to ride. I don't think it would be much fun on a motorway, but then not many bikes are fun on a motorway. None, probably. And just for these sort of country lanes, pushing on 40-50 miles an hour, it's ideal. It's not too noisy, not too uncomfortable. I'm sure you could ride one of these all day, and certainly for touring or even adventure riding, I think they're ideal. I suspect that if you're doing some more complex off-road, then they may show up the suspension, but that's again something that can be fixed, and I think people have done lots of long journeys on these bikes. So yeah, this has been a pleasant surprise for me, just to finish off my trip to the ABR Festival. So I think given how this is priced, it's probably a closer competitor to the Honda CRF 300L than the Rally. I think it's something like £4,500, so a few £100 cheaper than the CRF 300L. and so I guess people might be looking at these two bikes together when they're looking to get something like this. And I think the difference between them, I think the Honda is more refined. I also think the Honda is undoubtedly a better off-road trail bike, but then it does need extra things doing to it to you know, really bring it to get the most out of it. Whereas if he's looking for something that's a bit of a run around, I think this would be great. You know, I think they are tough as old boots. You know, I've seen Royal Enfields being repaired at the side of the road in India. So, you know, anything that you can repair sitting on the ground probably means that you can either fix it yourself if it does go wrong. But I think, you know, they've been making these long enough, and they make so many of them, that I think the quality levels are now up. You know, I know a few people that have got Royal Enfield Interceptor 650s and just love them. They're just brilliant bikes. Look over to the left, you can see some of the adventure trail that I did on the Harley Davidson in the earlier video. That was a bit of a bump. So I think when you do get these bumps, it does show the suspension up a bit. Then again, I am quite heavy, so you know it would be a challenge to build a bike with suspension just for me. So I think that's fine. Just coming into the top of the village now. For the festival, so that's almost the end of the ride. So I'll go back to Royal Enfield, I'll park up, give you my final thoughts, and then I think I'm done. So there you go, that's it, that's all done. That's my test ride on the Royal Enfield Himalayan, and actually it was rather fun. You know, it's not the fastest bike, not by a long way, it's not the most comfortable bike, but it's pretty comfortable, and it just chugged along. And on these little country lanes, even up to 50 miles an hour, it was just a really easy place to be. I'm quite tired after 2 nights of camping, so yeah, it's just a place just to potter along, see what it did. You know, it seems to be reasonably well equipped, does what it's supposed to do, and they're a bargain price. So yeah, I don't think I'll be getting one, but if I was in a market for a bike like this, it would definitely be on the short list. Anyway, I hope this has been interesting and useful. If it has, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.